Okay, I know I'm a couple of days late, but I didn't really had a time to do a video until now, but as the title says, I'm super stoked that Nightdive Studios once again surprised us. At least me, I didn't know this game was coming, the remaster of this game, but Quake II is now released on every possible modern platform, from PC to Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, Xbox Series X and S and Xbox One. And its price is very affordable, only €10, which makes it about same as dollars and British pounds, I think. But yeah, really cheap considering it's a, definitive complete edition, you might say, of Quake II, having the base game, all the expansions that were released after the initial Quake release in '97. Having all those expansions, which I have never played before. I have completed, played the base game of Quake II, but a little bit later about that, a little bit history about with my experience with Quake II 2 when I first played it. But yeah, €10, base game, all the expansions, even online. You can play co-op, the base game and all the expansions, which is fucking awesome. I don't think there was, of course there wasn't, because it was a PC game. There wasn't a split screen co-op back in the day. Of course there were a couple of co-op FPS games on PC, like Serious Sam First and Second Encounter, which had split screen even on PC version, but enough about that. Just a side mention that it's possible to make, of course, split screen on PC even. It's not just a console exclusive thing and feature. So yeah, what else? So yeah, you also get the Quake II Nintendo 64 version, which I didn't know was wholly different from PC version, and probably I personally, I'm not sure if the PC version was the same as, let's say, PS1, PlayStation version of Quake II. I'm not sure about that, but Nintendo 64 version of Quake II is totally different than PC version, so it makes perfect sense that they even included the Nintendo 64 Quake II with this whole package of Quake II experience on modern consoles. So the game was released 4 days ago, 10th of August, during, I'm not sure, after the QuakeCon. I'm not sure when the game, QuakeCon was live, but Nightdive did the same thing 2 years ago, during or shortly after the QuakeCon, that they released the first Quake Remaster, just 2 years ago on August 2021. So now they did it again shortly after, I think, of QuakeCon, so it makes perfect sense, of course perfect timing for them to release a Quake remaster. So yeah, but that came out of the blue. I didn't even know there was Quake II Remaster in development. Nightdive didn't, at least for my knowledge, I didn't, know anything about that they were developing a Quake II remaster, but of course it makes sense now why make a remaster of Quake 1 if they are not going to make a remaster of Quake 2 also. So yeah, to me it makes perfect sense now that we have remasters of both Quakes. So yeah, about my history a little bit. So I didn't play initially Quake 2 on PC because back in the day I didn't have PC. I was still living with my mother, so yeah, I didn't have my own PC. We didn't even have any PC back in the late 90s. So yeah, I moved to my own apartment on early 2000, and I got my first PC 2004. So yeah, I played the Quake 2 on PlayStation 1. Of course I had a fucking shitload of PS1 games in the late 90s, and also had Quake 2, and the port was excellent, like a brilliant technical achievement on PS1. It really looked great on PS1 and it ran 30 FPS, not much frame drops. It even had 4-player split screen, supporting the multi-tap for even 4 players. It didn't have co-op, of course. The main game, it only had a split screen for death matches, maybe capture the flags or some other game modes, but yeah, mainly for death matches. I played it. I didn't have, I think, multi-tap on PS1, but I had multi-tap on PS2. But yeah, I played the split screen, 2-player split screen death matches on Quake 2 on PlayStation, and I really loved that. But mainly it was the single player campaign that was just great. I loved that. But of course the PS1 game only had the base game. It didn't have the expansions included. And I'm not even sure when those expansions were released initially. Probably still in the 90s, considering the initial Quake 2 game in 97. So I think at least couple of 1 or 2 or even all expansions were released in the late 90s. 90s. But yeah, it only had the base game. I completed it, I loved that, and didn't really touch the game until I had my first PC and I downloaded I downloaded it for free, I think, but yeah, like I remember it was hard to find a physical copies anymore back in 2004, of course, of Quake II. So yeah, I downloaded it and played on my PC years later after I completed the PS1 version. And I can't remember if I finished it on PC, probably not, but I definitely finished it on PS1. So yeah, I have not really touched the game, you know, in almost 20 years until now, thanks for the remaster. Yeah, I was so excited and still a little bit surprised that it just came out of nowhere. But Nightdive has done that before, surprising us fans with surprise releases like Power Slave, Exhumed Remaster, I think last year. So yeah, Quake 2 out now, remaster, complete fucking package, including all expansions, online, story co-op, campaign co-ops for all the expansions even. So pick it up for €10, about $10, 10 British pounds. If you're an old school FPS fan, but even if you're not, I still highly recommend you to pick this game up if you have never played Quake 2 before. It's a big piece of gaming history and a fucking excellent game from the late 90s. Yeah, one of the best that era FPSs for me. I even enjoyed Quake 2 more than, let's say, first Unreal game. And enjoyed more than Unreal 2, because first two Unreal games were like Quakes. First two Quakes and Unreals were, single player focused games. And both series went to multiplayer focused on their third game, Unreal Tournament 3 and Quake 3 Arena. Yeah, so enough of this video, but yeah, I'm super happy that we finally have also, aside from Quake 1 Remaster, now we have the even better, in my opinion, in every way, even better game, Quake 2, the Remaster. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye!